There are these unwritten rules for the year, a kind of rhythm. Spring, you're thinking about weeds. Summer, you're making sure the AC works.
And summer is when you brace for the bugs.
Exactly. It makes sense. It's hot, everything's alive, the insects are out.
Yeah, that's the peak, biologically speaking. We're just conditioned to expect, ants at the picnic in July.
Right. So you have to explain this to me. Why, on a Wednesday, in the middle of January, with rain pouring down,
Yeah.
why did I walk into my kitchen this morning and see an actual interstate highway of ants on my counter?
It feels like they broke the treaty, doesn't it?
It feels like a glitch in the matrix. I'm looking at them thinking, guys, check your calendars. You're supposed to be hibernating somewhere. But apparently not in California.
Well, what you're seeing isn't a glitch at all. It's a very specific and actually pretty smart survival strategy.
Okay.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the winter invasion of the Argentine ant. And we're pulling a lot of this from a really great article by the folks over at Simple Pest Management.
And the big takeaway is kind of counterintuitive.
It is. The worse the weather is outside, the more likely you are to have a full-on ant crisis inside.
See, that feels totally backwards. Cold and rain should mean things slow down, right?
Yeah.
The bugs should be dormant or at least moving a lot slower.
You absolutely think so. But to get why they're on your counter, we have to look at where they live when they aren't invading your kitchen.
Right.
The Argentine ant, and it's pretty much the dominant nuisance ant here in California, is a ground dweller. They don't build those big, impressive mounds you might see.
No giant dirt castles. Got it.
No. They like it shallow. They live just under the surface,
Ah.
like under rocks, in the mulch in your garden, under a pile of leaves.
So they're basically just camping out right on the ground floor.
That's a perfect way to put it. Now, think about a California winter. We don't get snow. We get these huge atmospheric rivers, just days and days of rain.
Right. The ground just turns to mud. It's a sponge.
And that sponge eventually gets totally full. The soil gets saturated.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an ant living 2 inches under the ground, your house isn't just damp.
It's an underwater.
It's a catastrophic flood. The whole colony is about to be wiped out.
So the invasion in my kitchen, that's not a raid for food. It's an evacuation.
It's a refugee crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they'll find your crumbs once they're inside, but the main reason they're there is that they are literally trying not to drown. They need higher ground, and they need it now.
Yeah.
And in your neighborhood, what's the highest, driest, most stable piece of land around?
My house.
Your house.
That almost makes me feel, well, not sympathetic, but I get it now. They're just looking for a dry roof.
They are.
Yeah.
But there's this cruel little irony to it, which the Simple Pest Management article points out really well. The rain drives them inside because it's too much water.
Right.
But once they're inside, they can't survive if it's too dry either. Their bodies are really thin, they desiccate, they dry out very, very quickly.
So they're fleeing a flood, but they can't handle the desert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need that Goldilocks zone. It's why you don't usually find them, marching across the living room rug.
You find them in the bathroom or under the kitchen sink.
Yes. Near the tub, around the dishwasher. They're like heat-seeking missiles for any tiny plumbing leak. They want that perfect spot. Safe from the flood, but humid enough to stay alive.
And once one of them finds that spot,
It lays down a pheromone trail, that scent highway, and the rest of the colony just follows right behind. And when we talk about a colony with these ants, we're talking about something on a totally different scale.
we're definitely going to get to that. The source material uses this phrase, super-colony, and it sounds ominous.
It is.
But before we get to the scale of it, how do I even know that's what I'm looking at? To me, an ant is an ant.
Right. Sea bugs, crush bug.
Yeah. But the article says identification is important. How do I know if it's one of these Argentine invaders or just some random garden ant?
Okay, so visual ID first. You have to look really close. They are tiny, like 2.2 to 2.8 millimeters.
That is incredibly small.
It is. And honestly, they're kind of boring to look at. Just uniformly brown, light brown, dark brown, but no stripes, no cool red head, nothing, just brown.
I have to be honest, I am probably not getting out a magnifying glass to count an ant's body parts while it's running across my counter.
Fair enough.
Is there a giveaway from a distance?
The movement pattern is the dead giveaway. You called it a highway before, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
They almost never wander alone. They form these massive wide trails, sometimes 3 or 4 ants wide, all moving super fast. It looks like a flowing river.
Okay, that I have definitely seen. It's hypnotic in a really gross way, but there was one other test in the article that just It stopped me cold. It sounds absolutely disgusting.
The smell test.
Yes, the
Uh,
smell test. Please explain this, I think.
It's actually a really reliable field test, even if it is a little unpleasant. So most common ants, like the odorous house ant, they use formic acid for defense.
Okay.
So if you squish them, they give off this sharp chemical smell, kind of like vinegar.
Vinegar. Okay, I can picture that. Sharp, acidic.
But Argentine ants are different. They don't have that acid. When you squash an Argentine ant, the article says they emit a musty, greasy odor.
Greasy. Greasy like what? Like old fast food?
That's a great comparison. Yeah, like
Yeah.
stale frying oil or maybe rotting coconuts. It's this very distinct, funky smell.
Oh, that's awful.
So the advice, and it's gross, I know,
Yeah.
is if you're not sure, squish one or two and take a quick sniff. If it smells like a dirty fryer, you've got your culprit.
You know what? I think I'm going to trust the highway visual and skip the sniffing, but it's good to know the option is there for the braver souls listening.
It's a party trick.
Yeah.
Very, very gross party trick.
So we've ID'd them. Brown highways smell like grease. Now for the part where I always fail. I buy the little traps, I get the spray can, I nuke the trail, I feel like I've won.
For about a day.
And then 3 days later, they're back. And usually in a different spot. Why? Why is it so hard to just get rid of them?
And this is where we get to the super colony. This is the core idea from the Simple Pest Management article, and it is just a marvel of biology. See, most ant species are territorial. If colony A from your yard meets colony B from your neighbor's yard, they fight. It's an all-out turf war.
It's Game of Thrones in the lawn.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And all that fighting keeps their populations in check. They waste a ton of energy on it. But Argentine ants, they basically broke the game. They have a genetic quirk where they don't fight other Argentine ants.
Not even from a different nest.
Not even from a nest 3 blocks away. They recognize each other as family. So instead of fighting,
Yeah.
they cooperate.
So all that energy they would have spent on war, it goes into what?
Growth, reproduction, expansion. Because they don't fight, they form these gigantic interconnected networks. A single super colony can cover an entire neighborhood. We're talking millions of workers, and this is the real kicker, multiple queens.
Multiple queens. See, that's where my whole strategy falls apart. I always thought you just had to kill the one queen.
That works for a lot of species. But with these guys, when you spray that trail on your counter, you're killing maybe, 1% of the foragers?
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. Meanwhile, back in the 20 nests scattered around your property, all those queens are just pumping out more eggs to replace the ones you killed.
It's like fighting a hydra. You cut off one head and more just pop up.
It's the perfect analogy. And they're smart. If you spray one trail, they just send a signal down the line, danger here, and they reroute the whole highway 5 feet to the left.
That is formidable.
Okay, so while they're squatting in my house, they're causing problems beyond just being gross, right? The article mentioned they're a health hazard.
Huge one. They're omnivores, so they aren't picky. They'll eat a dead beetle outside, walk through the garbage can, crawl over dog poop, and then march right across your cutting board to get to a drop of jam.
Okay, I am officially going to go bleach my entire kitchen after this.
You should. They're basically little taxis for germs. If they
Yeah.
get into your food, you can't just pick them out. That food is contaminated. You have to throw it out.
But there was this other impact I found fascinating. It was about the garden. The article called them farmers. What's that about? Oh, this is my favorite weird fact about them. They have this symbiotic thing going with aphids.
The little green bugs that kill my rose bushes?
Those are the ones. So aphids drink plant sap, and then they excrete this sugary waste product called honeydew.
Yep.
It's basically bug Gatorade. And Argentine ants are addicted to it. It's their main fuel.
So they eat aphid waste.
They love it so much, they'll actually protect the aphids.
Yeah.
If a ladybug comes along to eat the aphids, which is what you as a gardener want to happen, the ants will attack the ladybug and drive it off.
They're ranching them.
They are. They herd them. They protect them from predators. They'll even physically pick them up and move them to a better, juicier plant. So a big ant problem outside means your garden suffers because they're helping the other pests thrive.
That is just diabolical. Okay, so we're up against a grease-smelling, flood-evacuating, aphid-ranching super colony. I feel properly intimidated. Let's talk defense.
We are not helpless. But you have to change your tactics. You can't just spray and pray. The strategy from Simple Pest Management is basically 3 parts: starvation, exclusion, and water management.
Starvation. I assume that means I need to be better about cleaning.
Much better. You have to remove their reason for being there. We know they love sugar, but they'll also eat protein and fats. It's that greasy pizza box.
Big target.
Huge target. You need to wipe counters with an actual cleaner, store food in airtight containers. Don't forget pet food.
Oh, the dog bowl. Yeah.
Leaving kibble out all day is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. But there's one tip in the article I bet most people miss. Recyclables.
The recycling bin. How?
Think about it. That soda can, that jam jar, you rinse it really quick and toss it in the bin. There's still a tiny residue of sugar left. To an ant, that is a feast.
You have to rinse them really, really well.
Thoroughly. It makes a huge difference.
Okay, next up, exclusion. Sealing the fortress. This feels tough because they're so tiny.
It is, but it's about making it harder for them. They take the path of least resistance. So you want to go around your house and look for any tiny crack. Where pipes enter the wall is a big one.
The cable guy just drilled a hole and shoved a wire through.
And left a 4-lane highway for ants right next to it. A little bit of caulk there can shut down a major entry point.
And what about water management? We can't stop the rain.
No, but you can manage where it goes. Check your gutters, make sure your downspouts point away from the house so water isn't pooling right up against your foundation.
And inside, fix the leaks.
Immediately. A dripping pipe under a sink is a luxury resort for them. If they find that, they will never leave.
The article also mentioned landscaping, creating a kind of buffer zone.
Yes. Since we know they nest in mulch and leaves, you want to pull all that stuff back a few inches from your house's foundation. Trim bushes so they aren't touching your siding. You're creating a dry moat, basically.
A dry moat. I like that. But here's the reality check. I know people who are incredibly clean, their house is sealed up tight, and they still get ants.
It happens. That's the power of the super colony. Sometimes the population pressure outside is just too immense.
So when do you give up and call the pros?
The article gives a few red alerts. If you clean and the trail is back within a day, call a pro. If you see ants in multiple rooms at once, call a pro. But the biggest one is if you think they might be nesting inside your walls.
That's the nightmare scenario.
It is, because you can't reach them with a spray can. That's when you need professional grade baiting.
Which is what companies like Simple Pest Management do. They use something called IPM.
Integrated pest management. It's detective work. They find the nests. They use targeted treatments to get to the root cause.
How does that work differently than the traps I buy?
The pros use slow-acting baits. And slow is the key. You actually don't want it to work fast.
Why not?
Because you need the worker ants to stay alive long enough to carry that bait back to the nests. It's a Trojan horse. They need to deliver the poison to all those queens and the larvae.
You use their own cooperation against them. That's brilliant.
It's the only way to really take down a super colony. You have to collapse it from the inside out.
Now, speaking of Simple Pest Management, I was reading through the source material, checking them out. They cover San Diego, Sacramento, all over. And then I saw the author credit for the article.
I was hoping you'd see that.
It's by a Theodore Augustus Paul Chi.
A very distinguished author.
It is. And then I saw the bio picture. Theodore is a dog.
He's a mini Bernedoodle.
I just love that. It's so good.
And he's not just the mascot. His official title is Chief Bedbug Officer in Training. He's learning scent detection.
That is just fantastic. It tells you they take the work seriously, but they don't take themselves too seriously.
Right. And honestly, if I have a pest crisis, knowing there's a fluffy Bernedoodle named Teddy on the team, it just kind of brings the stress level down.
100%. I'd hire them just to meet Teddy. So to wrap up, if you're seeing that ant highway on your counter, don't panic. It's just biology. The rain pushed them in.
Exactly. Do the smell test if you dare. Clean up, seal up, and remember what you're up against.
A super colony. They're cooperating, so you have to be smarter. And if you're losing the war...
So the folks with the Trojan horse baits.
And the dog.
And the dog.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into the tiny wars going on in your house, please do us a huge favor. Follow and like this podcast. It really helps us keep doing this.
And if you're in California and need some backup in the ant wars, you can follow Simple Pest Management on social media for more great tips and hopefully more Teddy pictures. Or you can just visit them online at www.simplepest.com.
That's www.simplepest.com.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay dry out there.
Bye, everyone.